Still single? That was the first thing my aunt said when I walked into my cousin's wedding. She looked at my hand, smiled, and loudly asked, "Did you finally find someone, or are you still waiting?" Everyone around the table laughed. I forced a smile. I was 29, successful, independent, and according to my family, that meant nothing because I wasn't married. My cousin leaned toward me and whispered, "Don't worry, maybe you'll get lucky someday." I wanted to leave, but then my phone buzzed. "Husband, I'm outside. Should I come in?" I stared at the message. My family had no idea. For the past 8 months, I had been secretly married, not because I was ashamed of my husband. I simply knew exactly what my family would do. They would judge him by his clothes, his job, and how much money they thought he had. So I had kept our marriage private. I typed back, "Come in." A few minutes later, the restaurant doors opened. A man in a simple dark suit walked inside. My husband, Daniel. He calmly walked toward our table. My aunt looked confused. "Who's this?" I stood up. "My husband." The entire table went silent. My cousin actually laughed. "You're joking." Daniel smiled politely. "No, she's my wife." My uncle looked him up and down. "And what exactly do you do?" Daniel pulled out a chair beside me. "I run a company." My cousin smirked. "What company?" Daniel looked at her for a moment, then he answered, "The company your husband has been trying to get a contract with for the last 6 months. The smile disappeared from her face. My uncle froze. "What's the company called?" Daniel took out his phone and showed him the company logo. My uncle's face went pale. It was the largest construction firm in our city, the same company that had just won a massive government contract. My cousin stared at Daniel. "You're the CEO?" Daniel nodded. Suddenly, nobody was laughing anymore. But Daniel wasn't finished. He looked at my family and said, "I know you've all been making fun of my wife for being single." He paused. "She never told you about me because she didn't want your approval." My aunt looked embarrassed. Daniel reached for my hand. She wanted someone who respected her when nobody was watching. Then he turned to my uncle. "And just so you know, I rejected your company's proposal yesterday." My uncle nearly jumped out of his chair. "Why?" Daniel smiled. "Because your company treated my wife like she wasn't good enough for this family." The table went completely silent. I looked around at the people who had spent years making me feel like something was wrong with me. For the first time, nobody had anything to say. Daniel squeezed my hand and whispered, "Ready to go, Mrs. Carter?" I smiled. More than ready. We walked out together, and behind us, my family finally understood something they should have learned years ago. Being single was never my problem. Being surrounded by people who couldn't see my worth was.